Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, it's the Bill and Corey Show.
Hey, welcome back to another live episode of the Bill and Corey Show. Should take it outside today. It's snowing.
It's snowing,
actually snow on the top of my car.
And who are you? I'm Bill. I'm Corey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
We missed that one. We got some different things to show today, and some good Christmas gift ideas, I think, maybe.
Oh yeah, stocking stuffers, if you will.
Stocking stuffers. This first one isn't a stocking stuffer. A customer asked why they didn't get a bulkhead fitting with their empty gas cabinet. Now, you can order empty gas cabinets through our online store, and you can get them configured with, you can get the fusible link in there, you can get it with Magnehelic on there, exhaust failure switch, all sorts of stuff. But we don't know what you're going to need, so it's just the cabinet.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually off of one that we're doing on production right now.
Two-cylinder cabinet. If you're wondering why it seems
right.
so
It's
long.
kind of wide because it's a two-cylinder cabinet, and this will have two process panels in it, so it's going to have fittings. This is the plate that's in the roof of the. I can't. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Plate in the roof of the cabinet.
Roof.
Yeah, do the zoom in. We're going to show you the different things here. Now, a bulkhead fitting right here, that would be, the big threads on the inside.
So it can fit
poke it through there. We would use that for typically purge gas inlet. So if you have a purge gas panel, you have nitrogen coming in, house supply for purging. So we'd have that somewhere in the top access panel. This one doesn't have it, so you wouldn't get that. Now, for process out, you really don't want to use a bulkhead fitting. You can use it for inert gases, but hazardous gases like flammable, corrosive, or toxic gases, you can't use bulkhead fitting because that gives you another point of leakage, and it'll be leakage outside the cabinet. So it's kind of like kills the idea of a cabinet.
Yeah.
If you have corrosive gases inside and your first point of connection leaks. So
you take tubes straight up
yeah,
through.
so you'd have tubes right through there, and you're running tubes through your plant. It should be all welded together. No swage lock fittings or pipe thread fittings through
Or
there.
shark bite fittings.
And there were shark bite fittings for hazardous gases, obviously leak tested. But here we've got these are little grommets here,
Little guys.
and they're for typically wires. They're like 1/8-inch size, so we could run wires through there.
Can't run a lot of gas through that hole.
No, you can't really. And this one here is for your pneumatic connections for your ESO valve or valves.
But would this be the typical top of a?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this part would be typical because
Okay.
you'd have some kind of wires, excess flow switch maybe.
Yeah.
And then pneumatic valve for the ESO valve. And these are a little bit different. You will see these in cabinets that have VCR fittings. And it's a grommet, but it's got like two plates there. That's because it's a bigger hole because if you have a VCR fitting in there, you're going to have to be able to feed your nut through the hole. So you need a bigger hole. In this case, it's going to be a cable. You're going to have a couple mass flow units in here. So we have to feed the cable with a connector on it. A little project for you. And then you have the grommets to seal it off. So, and it's funny, you really don't need a super good seal here because it's a negative pressure in the cabinet. But you don't want to have air coming in and stuff. So that's kind of the top of the cabinets. And if you order
never mind. I had a question.
if you order a cabinet now, even with a process panel in it, you could get it by Christmas.
You could get it by Christmas.
And
there
that could
you
be
go.
an excellent Christmas gift. You always talk about people like the box better than the gift.
Yeah.
Well, this is a big
Your
box.
kids would love the cabinet.
Yeah. And don't worry, it's got
It's got air. Air can get
air
in.
intake in there,
Yeah,
so you'll be fine. And cats would love it too.
Yeah.
But no, it's not for kids to play in. But if you order one now in the online store, you could probably get it by Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next question. customer had a leak in their cross purge assembly.
So we made up their assembly. As you can see, it's an interesting assembly because they had a CGA 180 on it. And the only thing a CGA 180 can go to is a lecture bottle. So we have more stuff here than here. And as you can see, this is a big guy on here. And you can get a lot of, I mean, you can easily get a lot of torque. It's a lot of weight on it.
Now, where was the leak? Where did they find the leak?
Yeah, so the leak was right.
No,
it was right.
No, it was right.
It was right there. Yes, that's
It was
right.
right in.
It was right in there.
Right there. I'll point it while he's holding it there. So we're thinking now. Before we ship these things, we helium leak test them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not. It's
leak tested.
It's leak tested
So
beforehand.
yeah.
So if there's a leak there, maybe they caused it.
Yes. So they're having a leak right here, and you put this on.
So if you tighten it.
If you tighten this, and then you can turn this.
Oh, yes.
What? I mean,
yes, you can.
You can. I'm just saying it can get knocked around and turned and loose, and
Yeah, and then
And so because it's got this big old thing on, this big old thing on here, it's a little 1/8" connection, because of the CGA 180. So there's, you can get a lot of torque on there. It gets jostled around and it can loosen.
Yeah.
And
so you have to be careful.
You have to be careful with it. And the customer even changed out this fitting. They said, put a new one in and it still leaks. So my guess is it wasn't tightened down enough or something.
Well, they didn't probably put it together.
Yeah,
right?
So lecture bottle, small. This is big, but if you're going to have a hazard of gas in here, you're going to want the purge and everything else in there. So it makes sense. Yeah. But like I said, it's a big thing on a little connection.
Yeah.
So.
But still, whenever you're tightening,
especially when you're moving,
you have
this
to be
around.
careful whenever you're tightening a CGA connection because you can transfer to torque.
Oh yes, you can.
So in this direction, when you're tightening here, that would loosen.
That could loosen that one.
That could loosen that. So if you're like, I have to hold this, and you're kind of muscle it, you could loosen up that connection. And it's not like it's going to come out.
No.
If it loosens just a little bit, then
It'll
you can get a
leak a little bit, and then you obviously don't want the leakage with the hazardous gas. So.
Yeah. And with the stainless steel connections are tricky.
Mm-hmm.
You need to use obviously use a Teflon tape, and then we use a small amount of what's called helicarbon oil. It's our lubricant. It's oxygen compatible lubricant. It's just a tiny little bit on the threads.
Keep it from seizing.
Yeah, keep it from seizing up there.
Yeah, so that's always the thing when you're working with fine stainless steel
but
like this.
Then again, if you have your equipment that has you have a leak in it or something, you can send it back and we'll fix it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just,
yes.
So they're going to send it back and we'll just tighten things up and leak check it again.
And typically this thing will be on a bigger cylinder, so it'll be stationary. You won't have to fuddle with it. It's not moving around all the time, so it'll probably stay better. But in this case, you got a whole you're carrying around stuff and things get jostled.
Okay. Yeah. I'll kind of swap out panels on that one. Then we had a customer. This is kind of good. We had one of these being built at the time. They had a customer was asking. You want to zoom in on this panel?
Can you get lower? Put it down behind the desk. Can you put it behind the desk and still zoom in?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Why there's so much dead space on this gauge? And this is a 9000 series panel.
And what exactly is dead space, Bill? I don't know.
Dead space. That's space that's not in the process stream.
Yes.
So
the gas will just sit there.
Yeah, gas will come just hooked up to the cylinder. It'll come through, and then these are called dead legs or dead space. And part of it, dead space isn't always that good for purging out and stuff. Mm-hmm. So you're concerned about that, especially in a high purity system. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. This 9000 series panel, it's a semiconductor grade, parts per billion type impurities. So it's welded VCR. It's got all this RA, 10RA tubing, electro-polished, everything's super smooth, very few voids. And the gauge, it kind of sticks out there, and you kind of want, hey, why can't you bring it in closer? Well, it's because this is a VCR connection. I'll kind of turn it. It's not working. I'll hold it upside down. It's a VCR connection, and you got a nut and a male piece, and I'll show you what it is there, why there's such a gap there. Is because you have to be able to loosen the nut. Now this is this is kind of like just a version we had laying around. So this is it's a plug, but pretend this is the part that's on the regulator. So when you take the nut off, you need to be able to slide the nut up. And there's your gasket just popped out. So you need to be able to slide the nut up to assemble it, disassemble it. So that's why you have such a big dead leg on there. And it's just unavoidable.
Yeah, it's not like a 1/4-inch FNPT that you can just thread right inside the body of the regulator,
Yeah.
you know.
But some people with their systems try to eliminate the use of gauges in a, you know, you try to eliminate dead legs. So they might go, you know, I really don't need a gauge there. It's really not doing much for me.
And,
So some
in the
people
case
just
for
have it without gauges.
this gentleman that asked the question, I talked to him. He was actually trying to figure out relief valve things. So he wanted to know what extra air could come, you know, if it were to release.
Oh, he was doing volume stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Safety. Yeah.
All right. So that's that. And we're going to get on to,
No, our final question. We made it.
Our final question of the day, unless something pops up on the screen. It's not about a wrench. It says, what are the gases that can be detected by the Model 8068 gas leak detector? And I forgot to bring a Model 86.
Yeah,
I didn't bring it
no,
along,
man,
and I'm
so-
not about to go in
Run
Roger's
quickly.
area. No, I won't do that. So you want to put up the first graphic. So this is from the online store. So
Store.mathesongas.com. Go there and you can find lots of great information like this.
Yeah, that's for the I-80. That's on the product page, right?
Yeah, on the product page, yes.
Yeah. And that's all the gases.
And the sensitivity.
Yeah. Now you want to put up the next.
And it tells you what group to put, you know, the 8068
you really
in.
don't need that in there. You know, you pick up each individual gas.
Oh, okay.
But that just kind of tells you the grouping of gas that it's with. You want to pull up the next graphic? Now this is on our, called our catalog page, even though we don't print out catalogs anymore. And this can be found on our main website, or corporate website, mathesongas.com. We've got a product page, and it just didn't work putting all the gases on there. We just wanted to just show you some common gases.
Things that people want to detect.
Yeah, kind of the most common ones. So, yeah. So that's all the questions we have for this week.
Yeah.
So you said you still got time. Online store. Most of our items are shipped within a day.
Yeah, so I mean,
And
even
then-
if you need a last December 23rd, you never know.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, you want a 9000 series panel, we can get it done, you can ship it. You know, we're not in charge of FedEx or UPS and how long it's going to
Oh
take.
yeah,
to get
yeah.
that.
You never know how those guys with all the Christmas gifts going on at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time.
So order today, you should be able to get it by Christmas. It should be a problem.
Surprise your boss.
So tune in again next week for another live episode of the Bill and Corey Show.
Set your VCRs.